podcast is powered by monkeyknifefight.com.
Got my brother back on this one.
We make plays every day.
Little bro back on this one.
We make plays every day.
Little bro.
We make plays every day.
Yeah, talking about.
We make plays every day. We make plays every day.
Alright.
We make plays every day. We make plays every day.
Hey.
We make plays every day.
Welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogard Scott Free. And we welcoming back a regular over here on the Real Fantasy Playmakers, friend of the show, our special guest host for tonight. He hosts his own very own podcast called the Ethan and Mike Sports Show. It's Ethan. Hey, what's happening, Ethan?
How we doing, Bogard? I'm glad to be back on this show again.
Hey, man, welcome back. Always a great.
Been a couple of times now.
Yeah, man. You know what's crazy is we're actually gonna touch on that a little bit because you were one of the first people that ever came on my show as a guest. Back when maybe like a couple days after quarantine hit, like it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe like a week. Maybe it was like a week after quarantine hit, and then like you know what I mean? Because I remember reaching out to you to work. Before the quarantine even, and then like, you know what I mean, when we finally got the schedule going, it was goddamn quarantine. But today we're going to talk about, you know, speaking of quarantine, we're going to talk about the goddamn COVID-19. We're going to talk a little bit about even a little bit of basketball and what's going on just in the world of sports in general. We're going to talk about some baseball. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely going to talk about some NFL. You know, this is a fantasy football show, but we are going to kind of take a little break from the normal type of isms you guys are going to hear because, you know, I just want to kind of catch up with my little bro over here. You know what I mean? Because me and him, we kind of been on the same journey, you know, throughout quarantine. And, you know, we're just going to kind of do like a backtrack and a recap. You know what I'm saying? But before we get to all that, we're going to go ahead, handle some quick old housekeeping. Go ahead and follow me on both IG and Twitter at the GMM Network. You could also follow me on IG at Bogard Scott Free World as well. You know what I'm talking about? You guys definitely gotta subscribe on YouTube to the GMM Network. Go ahead, hit that notification bell. You know, spike that like. You know, drop a comment, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Also, check us out at the Rum Boys Fantasy Network on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to there as well. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Robbie. Shout out to J Love, Miles Peacock, Jake the Great, you know what I'm saying? All the homies. Shout out to Clock Management. Also be sure to subscribe to my man Justin at Clock Management Fantasy Football on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you check us out at rumboys.com. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're going to find all the latest and greatest articles from all the innovative sports journalists that we house under the Rum Boys umbrella. You know what I mean? And that's where you're going to find all our drippy swag. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get you some merch. Hey. And also want to send a special shout out to our sponsor, Milk and Honey TX, for all your CBD wellness and all your CBD goodness. Visit milkandhoneytx.com. And you heard it in the intro of this joint. This podcast is powered by monkeyknifefight.com. Go ahead, head on over to monkeyknifefight.com. Use promo code GMM. And we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. We got all the sports in action right now. Baseball, basketball, and we, you know, training camp started, so you know football's on the way. We're keeping our fingers crossed that nothing, you know, like the CDC comes out and shut this whole thing down. But we're thinking positive. We got all the sports isms coming for you, and all the prop isms is where you're going to find them on Monkey Knife Fight. Go ahead, use promo code GMM. And we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. Hey, Ethan, let them know where they can find you and your podcast.
All right, guys. You can find us on YouTube, Ethan and Mike. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, any podcast you listen to. You can also find us on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of them right there. Same thing, Ethan and Mike. That's where you can find us. and I'm really glad to be back on this show, Bogart. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, we're glad to have you, man. You're a little bruh. I mean, I'm proud to say that, you know what I'm saying? I've been watching your craft and your podcast grow from what it was till it is now, and it's fucking phenomenal, bro. And we are going to talk about that, but let's go ahead and just talk about what's going on in the NFL right now. So in the goddamn NFL, you got all kind of players that popping up with the Rona, and then so now if you get the Rona, they put you on like an injured reserve type shit, but they also are putting you on that same Corona type non-injury shit if you've been exposed.
Yeah.
So like say like, you know, someone on the team has the Rona and you're around them, but you tested negative, you're still gonna be in this quarantine shit for like 10 days. So that's the new protocol. You know what I'm saying? You got I read earlier, you know, players like Lane Johnson who actually had Corona. You know what I'm saying? He's on that list. You know what I'm saying? He's on that list. Who else? Hold on one second. Let me ignore that call. Someone's trying to call me and shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Just a second.
Hey, we're doing throwbacks here.
Yeah, you feel me? But yeah, so.
We're doing throwbacks to when Bogart was trying to answer the door during recording.
Oh, yeah, we're doing a call. Oh, yeah. That was some shit. Yeah, but so,
First time going on the show.
Yeah, somebody was trying to, like, goddamn, like, break in the studio or some shit. Either way, though, I remember I had my strap on me. I was like, is somebody trying to break? But it was somebody looking for they were at the wrong address. But they were like trying to open the door and shit. And I must have busted that door open with the strapola, like, you know what I'm saying? Either way, not important. Check this out. Goddamn, where was we at? Oh yeah. So players like Kenny Golladay and TJ Hawkinson, they've been exposed. They don't got it, but they've been exposed. You know what I'm saying? Then you go all the way down to players that are opting out, like 6 notable players from the Patriots.
Chung.
Yeah, Chung. And maybe not all of them are notable, but definitely Chung.
And definitely notable.
And Hightower, that's real. That like in Hightower's a captain on that defense too. So, but see, Hightower just had a baby. He has a 2-week-old baby, so I understand that. You know what I mean?
Same thing with Godwin when he opted out for the Eagles. He has like a 5-year-old son. I think a son or daughter.
Yeah, I think he has like a 2-year-old or 3-year-old. Either way.
He has like 5-month-old.
5-month-old. That's right.
Yeah, he opted out. When he opted out, he already told the Eagles he opted out. Same thing.
Man, I hope we don't have to give anything back to the Eagles, man, because that was part of a trade that the Niners did. They traded him away. Anyways, you know, then you're looking at you know, plays like Damian Williams. He opted out. You know, that's gonna positively affect Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but it's also gonna inflate his average draft position in fantasy leagues. You know what I'm saying? You got Nate Solder. You know, he's a lineman from the Giants. You know, he opted out. But also because he has a son, and like I think
he's dealing with cancer.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but then that's also gonna affect Barkley, you would assume. I mean, they did have Andrew Thomas in the draft. That, you know, he's arguably one of the best linemen in this draft. He's gonna be a day one starter, obviously, and he'll be able to fill that left side of that line. Man, you know, it's a crazy world we're living in because, you know, if you have kids or your parents are elderly and they live with you and you're playing in the league, like, and I think you're gonna get if I read this correctly, bro, you're gonna get paid still. Like, if you opt out, I think they're just gonna they take out like 150 bands or something like that, but you're gonna get paid still. So I don't know, man. Like what do you think of this, man? What do you think of this? Like, because then also you got, like, you're out there in Miami or you're out there in Florida, and you see what's happening with the Marlins. You know what I'm saying? Like
18 players.
18. See, yesterday it was like 17, so it's just rising.
It keeps rising. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is though. I mean, like, and they got till Sunday to figure this thing out.
Yeah, they don't play till Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay. Yeah, so I think they got till Sunday. I think they got till Sunday to figure it out.
Yeah, they got till Sunday to figure out, but they don't play the next day. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, but just saying though, because then you're gonna need a day of like, you know, getting acclimated to these new players. You know what I mean? You can't bring them the day like they're not gonna show up Tuesday like, all right, let's rock. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's not like we're just bringing people from the streets like, hey, you can pitch.
Hey, fuck it, dog.
All right,
You should go play, dog.
on.
Fuck it, Ethan, go.
I can't even pitch. I don't even pitch not even 60 miles. Get out of
Fuck
here.
it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Get in there, motherfucker. Nah, but you know what? Yeah, it's just a crazy world, man. How do you feel about all this, man? Like, I mean, I know you're not really I mean, I know you play fantasy football, but like, you know what I
I'm
mean?
getting back into it.
Yeah, but I know like, because I know you're not worried about your basketball. You're more of a basketball guy, right?
Yeah, I'm more basketball and football at the same time.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. Well, you don't have to worry about your basketball, at least I should say, because your basketball should be good. Unless one motherfucker in that bubble like sneaks out and gets the Rona and then they all get it, that'd be some shit.
Yeah, because basketball right now, they haven't tested any COVID positive since the day they were clear, since July 20th. And they already did the training. They already did the scrimmages. They finalized that today. No one got anything. So I think they're set and ready to do tip-off tomorrow on Thursday.
Yeah.
Starting off with the Lakers and the
Lakers
Clippers.
and Clippers, man. This is
What a great way to start it off.
You see Kawhi? Kawhi's been shooting at like less than 20%. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't think he's ever done that in his career.
No. And all of a sudden, you start seeing players that started impressing. Bol, for example, was impressing in the scrimmages. Have you seen that?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, think about this. Like, you know, this is an opportunity for a lot of these players that, you know, hopefully they were sharpening their game up this whole, you know, pandemic.
What's funny about Bol is that we actually drafted him with the Heat. The Heat drafted him, but we traded him away to Denver.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
Yeah, it happens though. You know what I mean? Players that get drafted and traded that same first day. You know what I mean?
That's like that. What was it? The Michael Jordan trade?
Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, this shit happens all the time, bro.
You never know how good they are until
it's more common. It's more common in other sports outside of football. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not that it doesn't happen in football, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like basketball all day. Motherfuckers will be in position for a player and it'd be like, and they're already working a deal and then they draft the guy and he's already on the move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you don't normally hear that in football unless you're talking about Eli Manning situation.
Yeah, but that's a very rare situation though.
It's rare.
Yeah, and it just so happened that, you know, maybe Phillip Rivers is regretting that. He's like, man, I should have just stayed with the goddamn Giants.
Maybe they should have traded me while they were on the clock.
I know, right? But then, you know what's funny too is that because remember Eli Manning, he gets picked. He's like, I'm not going there. He's like,
I know.
I'm not going to goddamn San Diego. Which is ironic because New York does get cold versus San Diego, and it's like, wouldn't you want like the colder play? This is why I respect Aaron Rodgers. He was able to have a long career in basically the Antarctica of football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you know, hypothetically, like, you know, are you prepared to see like an ugly product of football? Like if we got all these starters opting out and we got players getting corona, are you prepared for these third and fourth stringers and like these practice squad guys? Because I am. I don't give a fuck. I'm with all the shit, dog. Give me all the shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not scared. I gotta dominate in fantasy. I'm gonna be prepared for all that shit.
Yeah, I think I'm prepared to see that. There's always a possibility that will happen, where you'll start seeing third stringers and practice squads, people coming from the streets that you have no idea who's that player until you read about him. You know, that's a possibility that could happen, but it just depends how the NFL takes care of it, because they didn't want to do the bubble. They mentioned this earlier.
Yeah,
they didn't want to do the bubble situation thing, so they're gonna rely on their testing, having testing on contact. For example, the Rams have like some type of way how they track the players. So they wear like a wristband. They have
I've seen that.
Little device so they track the players as they go throughout the day, and they check the temperature and everything throughout the day. So that's gonna be interesting how they're gonna
fucking apocalypse, bro.
It's crazy. Like COVID right now is crazy right now. It's so in the works. Like All I know is that the cure is somewhat there, but it might take
I don't know
time.
about no fucking cure, but there might be a vaccine or some shit. You know what I mean? That could like prevent the because you know what a vaccine is. It's essentially them putting a modified version of it in you.
Yeah.
So
It's like you're getting like a
immune
flu
system
shot.
exactly. So your immune system can build against it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know. I have a feeling a lot of these people are gonna get really, really sick badly. Like when the first wave, the first like trials of the vaccines, because I think like the fact that I believe that this is lab made, like I don't think it's a natural thing that just came up out of China. I think this is lab grown, and like
Yeah.
if it's
rumors
lab
about
grown, that means that it's only gonna affect certain people the worst. Like I've read so much, there's so much misinformation. But like I even read that a goddamn like if you have blood type O, you're less susceptible. Like I mean, you could anyone can get it, but I heard blood type O, you don't have it as bad. Like those are the ones that be asymptomatic.
Like you hear a lot of things and you just start questioning.
Yeah, because then no matter what you read, you could read something that is the opposite of that. You know what I mean?
It's like for example, like tell people get coronavirus if you don't wear a mask. Like no kidding, but like that's why you wear a mask.
Yeah, I mean, and you know me, I'm from Cali, you from Florida, and like we've been wearing masks for like 3 months over here.
It really got started with the mask. Like I was saying, like
Skillsy.
maybe like the week after we shut down was when everyone started getting really serious about it. Because even after like the week after, we were still like not wearing masks yet because it wasn't that as bad as it is right now.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why is these people wearing masks right now? Like, it's still far away at the time being. But now like a few weeks later, it's like, shit, man, we need to put some mask on.
Yeah, you ain't lying, bro. Like what's funny too is that like, man, I want to say it's been like 4 months. I think that they started enforcing masks out here. But my point is like, man, we started rocking masks, and then you start getting fly with it. Now I got all different kind of masks, match my fits. You feel me? But it's like, man, it's like still, man, like I get annoyed when I see motherfuckers walking with no mask, trying to come through and talk to me. I'm like, back the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even when I'm wearing a mask, I'm still like keeping distance from people. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it's some shit, man. Like it's affecting all the sports. Even though we got sports back now, it's some shit, man. I think there's like entirely too many dumbasses out there versus like people that are smart. You know what I'm saying? Like people that I know a lot of people. I mean, I don't really know them, but I've heard of a lot of people talking about they don't even think this shit is real. That's some stupid ass motherfuckers. Like my girl's a nurse, so it don't matter what I think. She tell me straight up because she around that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you go to any hospital right now and you can just tell me that it ain't real or not. Like, it's real.
And, and those are just them dumbasses in quarantine, just thinking like, man, this shit ain't. And then go outside. Yeah, let's go out. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of these youngsters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you a youngster, but like, I mean, I like to think you're more mature than a lot of these youngsters. But there's a lot of motherfuckers out there, man. Like, remember even spring break? You know how many motherfuckers was out there? Remember the first show I ever had you on.
Kept going. Yeah, people kept going, but then they got the coronavirus from it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the first show I ever had you on, it was around that time. It was around, like, spring break time. And
it was around spring break time down in Miami.
I was asking you, I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? How hard is it for you not to go get out there with all that scattered ass everywhere? Ass and titties just out. You know what I mean?
It's hard, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what motherfuckers want to do, man. Motherfuckers, they want to,
They ain't the risk.
They want to get laid. So, you know what I mean? Men and women. So they out there, like, young men and young women. You know what I mean? They're like, plus I think, like, when you have kids, it puts in perspective or, like, you know what I mean? Like, I always, at least I would hope so. You know what I mean? Because I got kids, bro. My kids don't even leave the house unless they have to. Like, unless we're going somewhere for real, like, and we rarely go anywhere in this past 4 months, like, unless it's, like, my mom's crib or, like, people that we know, they ain't fucking around, you know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers, they've been doing the same thing as us, and, yeah. I don't know, but you know what, let's, fuck all that. We're gonna get off that negative shit. I figured, but it is, even though it is negative shit, it's still something we had to address, because that's exactly what's going on. Me and you, we cover sports, you know what I mean? This is just it's just the world, you know what I mean? We have to cover it, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, man, so, you know, I did kind of touch on, like, I've been fucking with you since early on in quarantine, like, since the beginning.
Early on March, February, a little bit late.
It was like early February. Yeah. Well, because we were already shut down. I think you guys just got shut down. So, yeah, we're looking at, like, maybe it was early March.
It was around early March. I know we didn't shut down.
Yeah, because you guys shut down way after us.
Yeah, because I know for me, like, for my work, it shut down the 17th of March.
Okay.
That time.
Yeah.
I don't know when it actually officially shut down, but for me, for work, it was like the 17th.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take it from there. So from then on till now, how many episodes has your podcast dropped?
We have dropped 32 episodes.
Nice. Yeah, because the first time I ever got on, what was that? Episode 17, something like that?
It was episode 17.
Wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe I remember that. Yeah, and like, that was dope, man. As we crossed out Mike's name. It was the Ethan and Bogart show that time. You know what I'm saying? And then, that was dope, man, because then shortly after, I got Mike on the show. And then, yeah, man, it was, you know, so since from then till now, you know what I mean? We have both grown pretty. We've grown pretty good, man. Our pages have grown. You know what I'm saying?
Our pages grow slowly but surely, like slow grind.
And shout out to the slow grind too, man. Like, you know, we're all moving together, which I love, because in any industry, it's hard to find good friends, and we've all been working together from the beginning. Like, you know, obviously Doug, kind of between all our groups, Doug is the new guy, but he's so great. So that was a no-brainer to, you know, because he's kind of part of our. We kind of have like this underground little community. You know what I mean? And then not to mention all the people that I've been working with, like the Fantasy Fornicator, I'm really close with. You know what I'm saying? He was literally the first person I ever reached out to. You know what I mean? And then, you know, all the guys at the Rum Boys. You know what I mean?
That's the Rum Boys.
Yeah, man, it's just so crazy. Like, you know, that out of this whole ordeal, quarantine and shit, and you know, this shit ain't no stopping in sight. This thing is still going on. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, if I was to take any positive, it's been able to, you know, connect game with all you guys. You feel me? Like, and really get to know you guys, like, off script too. You know what I mean? Like, not just doing the podcast. Like, that's why I remember yesterday I was like, you know what we're gonna do on this episode, Ethan? I was like, we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna chop it up.
100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, so, you know, tell me about because I know I had this conversation with you, but you know, just kind of for the Playmakers, let them know, like, you know, our conversation a couple weeks ago. Remember, you were like, yo, I'm about to revamp, kind of a rebranding.
Okay, so you want to know the story about the time where I was kind of revamping the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty much it was episode 30. I remember I brought you and Morris on my show.
Yeah.
And I think it was just kind of like steaming out a little bit, you know? Like, I felt like the breaks were kind of like stopping a little bit.
Yeah.
I had like a lot of mine from school, work, and then I had podcasts too at the time. I think I just had took a break and trying to like revamp how to get people coming back, you know?
Yeah, because you kind of took a little hiatus after, because that was the 4th of July episode. So you kind of took a little break after that thing.
Yeah, it was a well-deserved break for sure, because...
Yeah, because this is the end of July. Isn't that crazy how long July seemed?
It was long. Some people thought it was fast, but to me it was pretty slow.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Broad did so much in July, it's ridiculous. Like, it seems like it should have been, it felt like it just feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah. I take every day by day. That's how it feels.
You ain't lying.
Day by day.
I think that's a solid thing to take, Playmakers. Take every day by day. And I will add this. Take it day by day, but also, like, you know, you do want to have in mind what you want to work towards. So that's kind of what you did, right? When you were sitting and you had to revamp, you're kind of like, you know what? I got to reiterate this direction.
Yeah, it was just kind of bringing back people. How will they be interested coming back to my show, you know? something funny or something that was interesting in the show that you. And I would start thinking, like, when I start looking at other people on YouTube, it's like they always have something in the intro that's something eye catching, you know. So
Yeah.
I was like, if I get something that's like eye popping in the show, I can put that in the beginning, and then it's like, wow, I gotta watch this whole entire show right here.
Yeah, I do like that.
Because
I do like that you started doing that. You started taking like little pieces. Like you take a piece from the show, you put it right before the intro. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a grabber.
Yeah, it's like an attention grabber for people to look. I'm like, oh my god, he said that. It's a game of chess, for example. My last episode, it's like a game of chess with a human being. It's like,
Yeah.
that's something eye popping, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, it kept me captivated. I was like, let me go see what he's talking about with this chess thing. You know what I mean? Because I be playing chess every day. Not actual chess, but just, you know what I mean, with my
Yeah,
moves.
but reference though.
Like, you
Every
know what's
day.
crazy? So, so now if you want to hear my little, from March, I think I was around episode 40 something. Right? No, February I was around episode 40 something. Because I remember the first week of the first week of February was when I finally got Robbie on. I think it was like the first Friday in February. I got Rob. Shout out to Admiral Robbie from the Rum Boys, and he was on episode 50 because I had already been interacting with him, but I figured I wanted to do something dope for the 50th episode, and like it just so we had rescheduled. He was supposed to be on like episode 48. We had to reschedule because his till both time was convenient, and then it ended up by the time he was able to get on, it was episode 50, and it was kind of a milestone because later on that night he got me on Rum Boys After Dark. Then the next week they invited me back, and then he told me, he's like, yeah man, I was talking with the guys, man, we want to bring you in, you know what I mean, and and the rest is history, you know what I mean, like. And then since then, I've collabed with everybody that because I watch a lot of people's content. I pay attention to a lot of people's stuff, and like the people that I really fuck with, I'm like, yo, I need to work with this person. You know what I mean? Like right after this, I'm getting on the dudes from Heart to Start, the Heart to Start podcast. Dudes are from Sac. They're from Northern Cali. I know one of them from Sac. I think they're both from Sac, but either way, man, these dudes are fucking phenomenal. I'm excited. That's the episode I'm doing right after this one. Like, as soon as we're done, I have like an hour. I'm gonna cook dinner, then I'm jumping back on the pod.
Yeah, man. Keep yourself occupied, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay occupied than a motherfucker. Like, and like, what's crazy too is like, I did a lot of collabs, and then the people that I got close with off script, they all became reoccurring guests. So now, like, this episode is episode 95.
95, almost to 100, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do for 100.
It's gonna be crazy.
I think-
Episode 100 probably be crazy.
I want to make it the first visual episode because I'm solely an audio podcast, and I'm in transitional period where I want to definitely start getting the visual aspect to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Seeing those visuals from Bulgar, it'd be crazy.
I mean, I get visual when I work with the Rum Boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Rob, man, shout out to Robbie. He's such a great dude, man. He's kind of been like my guidance. Like, yo, he's like showing me the structure and like, you know what I mean? Like I ever since I got on, we've doubled in following over there, and I'm not saying because of me by any means. I'm just saying like since I joined, I've watched the Rum Boys brand grow in following, and it's kind of awesome. You know what I mean? Like my growth is very slow because the market of people that enjoy my show, they're the ones that don't mind just listening to audio. You know what I mean? But like for the most part, America, they want to see a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Like you guys were strictly audio. You guys made the transition not too long ago to being
Yeah, not too
visual.
long ago. Episode 25 was our first time going on to audio.
Yeah,
That's
and
why I started making YouTube.
And now you're on you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You're on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be sure to subscribe to the Ethan and Mike Sports Show on YouTube. You know what I mean? And But yeah, so let me know what you got coming. What's coming next for the Ethan and Mike show? Because I know you're taking a semester off from school because you're gonna focus more on the pod. So yeah, I know you're dabbling in you're attacking some comedy skits, which is kind of cool, man. I appreciate that a lot. You know what I mean, hold on, my neighbors is over here honking and shit. There's always something. There's always something out. Anytime I get Ethan on, it's madness going on.
Hey, but the comedy thing, I started doing that. I was like, I want to make some people laugh in my life because I'm kind of crazy in my house a little bit. If my family would tell you, I'm crazy a little bit.
That's probably why I fuck with you, Ethan. Because you know me and the Playmakers, they know. Bogart, you know what? Ask me if I'm crazy. You know what?
Oh, you crazy, all right.
Don't ask me that. We know the answer.
If you don't believe us, just go listen to one of our episodes with me and Mogart in it.
Hey, it's crazy though because I remember even when you got me on your show, like you're 18, right?
19 now.
You're 19 now, right? So like, I am of age, so I be drinking. You know what I'm saying? And over here in California, weed is legal, so I be drinking, smoking. You know what I'm saying? And even when I go on Rum Boys, I'm on mushrooms yesterday on the Rum Report, I was on mushrooms, drinking vodka. You know what I mean? Like that's actually one of my AKAs right now. My AKA Bogart Scott Free, AKA Luigi. You know what I'm saying? You guys might have seen me in some video games. I starred in Mario Brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Eating the mushroom, bro. I eat the mushroom. You know what I'm saying?
On a totally different level.
You feel me? Getting all the money. Ding, ding, ding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, give me money. You know what I mean? But yes, so what else you got coming, man? I mean, I know you got some guests lined up. I'm definitely going to come back on the show soon, too.
Yeah, we're going to try to get you back on the show, too. Look, I think somewhere in the middle of August, I know that. I know this next episode we're going to do is just going to be me and Mike.
Yeah.
And then we're good. And then after that episode, we're going to bring in an actual jet. He was a jet scout, actually. The next episode we're going to get is that he used to be a former jet scout. So we're going to try to pick some brains out how he scouts a player, You
should bring on Morris on that show too, man.
Yeah, he's a jet scout, so I don't know. We'll see if we can get something happen with Morris.
Yeah. I'm actually excited because Morris he's only been on the Real Fantasy Playmakers one time, and that was with all of us, and that episode was fun. Me, you, Doug, and Mike, and Morris. And that's crazy because ever since then, we've all been rocking. You know what I mean?
Okay. We've all been together, always support either its edits or music or our podcasts. We're all there. 100%.
Yeah, man. And also too, bro. What else is dope is like I'm excited to get Morris on. He's coming on next week, so it's gonna be just Morris by himself. And Mixmaster Morris. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope because he's coming on the day before his birthday, but in places like Australia, it'll already be his birthday. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm treating that episode like a birthday episode. You know what I mean? I'm gonna turn up on the episode. You know what I mean? It's gonna be dope, man.
I have that feeling. He's like, "Oh, you're too kind, Bogart. You're too kind."
Yeah, he's such a good dude, though, right? Morris, I love Morris too because he's a nice motherfucker, but he'll throw shots too. He's funny, guy.
Yeah.
He got jokes. He got jokes, boy.
That's okay. I throw it right back at him.
Yeah,
I talk about his next. Don't worry.
It's so funny because, man, like, he'll be commenting on my shit, like on my stories, because, I always, like, the GMM Network page is starting to become like a reality TV show for Bogart. You know what I mean? You're going to see all the podcast content. You're going to see, my household where we're just cooking and, I'm me with the kids and then, what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm really enjoying that too, man, because before I was more of a private person, but like, even though I know a ton of people, I'm just like, you know what I mean? I would still keep, I wouldn't let them know everything. I still don't let them know everything, but I'm letting them know a lot more now. Like, it's kind of cool that like, you know, when people would message me and they're like, man, you know, like Morris, for example, like, you know, it was a picture of like me and the kids. It was like Father's Day or whatever. It was like me and the kids and my girl.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he put hashtag goals. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate shit like that, man, because I love my life. I appreciate everything I have. I don't take shit for granted. And it's probably because, you know, I have a history. You know what I mean? My history growing up, you know, we was out there thugging and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers have tried to kill me on a number of times. You know, I've been stabbed up. I've been having my skull bashed open. Motherfuckers have shot at me. We didn't shot at motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? Like we lived a life when we was crazy and young. You know what I mean? But now I'm grown, and I I was fortunate that I'm supposed to be here for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, and every day I'm you know, I look at my kids. I'm like, this is why I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Because, you know, all those events in my life where I almost lost my life, that was before I had kids. So it was almost like, you know what I mean? And I believe in something greater. You know what I mean? So, you know, something greater, you know, whatever you want to call it, God, Allah, whatever the fuck religion you is. I'm not really a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. I believe in something greater. I believe in something's been guiding me. You know what I mean? And like, I be trying to watch the signs and just appreciate everything, man. Kind of taking it day by day, like you said too, but I'm always thinking about the future.
True.
You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to set things up nice for my kids. You know what I mean? And like, I'm glad that I'm not rich yet. I intend on it. But like, until that day,
process.
Well, because I don't imagine if I was rich right now and I had my kids, these motherfuckers I couldn't help myself. I'll spoil the fuck out those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? But I can't do that right now. I'm more level headed. We got to take care of things. So, you know, I hope my kids will grow up like, they with the. I want them to have that grind, that hustle gene, and that chromosome that I got, because I know it's in them. You know what I mean? I know they got it. You know what I'm saying? And my girl got that same thing too, so they're getting it from both sides. You know what I mean? Like, we just work. We go to work. Like you know what's crazy? Even with the podcast, right, bro? Like, I remember one time because my girl is kind of like my partner in crime, and she was like, "You don't think you don't think that you're putting out too many episodes? Maybe you should space them out." Then even some of my homies was telling me the same shit, man. You putting out a lot of episodes, and I'm like, all right. So at one point, I was like, all right, instead of 3 a week, let's go with 1 a week. And then I started seeing my numbers drop, and I'm like, man, why the fuck am I listening to any of these motherfuckers, right? I'm like, I gotta keep what I'm doing. As long as I'm pumping volume, it keeps me in their mind. It keeps the playmakers, paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I don't care if my growth is small, as long as there is growth, and as long as the thing is growing. You know what I mean? Because I'm very patient. I don't expect this motherfucker to blow up overnight. I mean, you show me a man who thinks this shit can blow up overnight, I show you a liar. I'm pretty sure. There's exceptions to the rule, but that's just not me. I'm not that exception to the rule. I got to work hard to get to where I'm going. And I know that's the same for you.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of work. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to look for. I know the episodes are still going to be like once a week. That's how we're going to take it as of right now.
Yeah.
I might start adding another, like a feature episode where I bring in underground artists,
Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about that.
Talk about what they feel on this episode. Not this episode. Not what I'm talking about. Talking about the music crap right there. What made them make that music? Because I know you have an album coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm going through the publishing process right now. It's a bitch too, because but like I said, I'm patient. Because I never really set deadlines. Because deadlines, they tend to hinder people.
Back.
Yeah, and then so in this case, that was the first deadline I set was like late July, and now I'm looking at like mid-August more likely. You know what I mean? But the music is done, so that's the hard part. You know what I mean? To me, actually, that's not the hard part. That is the easy part. But the hard part is like the next step.
Getting approval.
Yeah, and you know what is cool, man? Like I sent you that link, we got on Fat Joe's mixtape.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Like, and that was part of our management. They're the ones that kind of made that thing happen. Like, Cause all I do is make the music, you know what I mean? And then this was actually a song that I'm featured on. And then shout out to my man Sundown Charlie. It's his song featuring me. And that song ended up on Fat Joe's mixtape.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Fat Joe. This is the 6th mixtape he's done like this, where he puts it out there in the world, like, hey, all you underground artists, he gives us a chance, and it's kind of cool, man. Our song made it on there.
Hey, that's always appreciation. People that are on the top giving back to people that are on the ground, get them up there, you know.
Yeah, hopefully, man. And too, man, you know what it is too, is like when I just being like humble and staying hungry, that always works for me. And like that's just one of those things I got rewarded, like, because I'm a fan of Fat Joe, and like Fat Joe he's a great A&R. Fat Joe knows good music. Fat Joe, he was gonna sign Pitbull at one point. He was gonna sign Eminem, and then they ended up signing elsewhere, but they still blew up. So it's like he did what a lot of artists, like he just knows how to diagnose good music. So, and if you listen to that mixtape, all those songs are dope, man.
Yeah, man. I know I listened to your mixtape. That was the one I wanted to hear that one. The first one out of all of them.
Yeah, and our song was one of the ones in the back of the mixtape, but so I hope people will actually make it to it, because a lot of people's attention span is short. But
Yeah, you go through the first few and then they're like, okay.
Yeah, and it kind of has like a East Coast type like the beat is kind of on some East Coast /
West Coast.
No, like / like Miami type of feel, because kind of has like a Cool and Dre type of feel with the trumpets. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know, it was dope.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when I want to start doing that, where I bring in underground music people that are kind of up there. So I want to bring in, like, for example, Silva. He's in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
He's on the ground. I know that at some point he's gonna drop an album, I believe, but I don't know when. But I gotta talk to him a little bit more on that, which will be great, because I can get some good conversation with him.
Yeah, I had remember I told him to shoot. You shot him my number.
Yeah. And
we had a little bit of a back and forth exchange. But I was also just kind of like, yo, man, whenever you're ready, bro, whenever, you know what I mean? And I'll bring you on the podcast. Because, I have that other series. I'm actually in season 2 in a Playmaker as fuck. Playmaker AF. And I got 5 episodes so far in that one. I do 10 episodes and then I call it a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have in mind, other artists that I want to bring on, but it's kind of just like that's kind of taking the backseat a little bit, like, because I'm just been so busy with the, now that football's coming back, you know what I mean? That's why it's kind of cool to do an episode like this, just kind of take a break real quick, you know what I mean? And just kind of chop it with my guy. You know
Yeah, 100%, man. Also thinking of this guy, hopefully if I can get this guy on, his name is Navari. Great music content. He's from New York. Love his content. I've used some of his content on my edits, actually.
That's right, you're telling me. How does he feel about that? Is he excited that you're using some of his beats and stuff?
Yeah, he was very supportive. He told me, like, wow, you were for real now.
Nice.
It's like, there was one time where he was like, saying, hey, man, can you like or comment on my post? And I already did that. I was like, yo, don't worry, I already did that. Yo, you for real. You for real supporter.
I never been the type to ask people for their support. I just kind of been looking for, I want motherfuckers to I want them to want to support. You know what I mean? Like other than like with you guys, like, whenever, in our thread, anytime we all drop an episode, we're like, hey, everybody go and like that shit. But that's different though, because, we're all supporting each other, but you know what I mean? Already. But like people I don't know, I'm not like, yo, follow for follow, or yo, like my shit. Like, I can't stand people like that, to be honest. I don't like thirsty people. Like, but then I guess that's just how the wave is with a lot of these youngsters. They just be like that.
Yeah, I don't usually do like follow for follow unless like I like the content more. Then I can want to like interact with them.
No, if people follow me, I don't hesitate to check their shit out, and if I like their content, I follow them back. Because that's organic to me. If you know, if I'm not really feeling their shit, it's like, all right, fuck it. And then 9 times out of 10, those people they unfollow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like that with Silva and Lavari. I might get Lady Miz also. I want to get Lady Miz. I know you probably heard from my edit. This one, remember the Sabrina, the Oregon star for the WNBA.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I remember that.
I used one of her musics too on that one. Which if I can get Lady Miz on too, that would be great. Also, she's also a New Yorker actually.
Okay.
She's a female singer, so if I can get her on, that would be great actually too.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's about.
I've been thinking about it. It's just like the school was like a lot, and then work, which I can find a way. You know, I always find ways.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you know what, dog? Like, if it's something you're dedicated to, you're gonna find a way. You know what I mean?
It's also how my podcast is. It's like trying to help people up to their feet. You know, I want to give them a platform to talk to. You know.
I heard the fuck out of that because that's what I strive for the GMM to be. Like, I hope people will listen to any of the episodes I got you on and be like, hey, man, I like the kid. Let's go check his shit out. Like, because that's what it's all about. That's what I want the GMM network to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Oh, that's the same thing with ours, too. Is like, I want people that are, like, down, like, right next to me, bring them up, too, at the same time. You know? Feel me?
Okay, so hey, what do we look? How we looking on time right now, Ethan? What time is it over there in the East Coast?
We at 8:46 at night.
8:46. Okay, yeah. So we got about like 15 more minutes to chop it up.
We still got a couple of times. I got a few more things also.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, another person I'm gonna bring on is he's a basketball player from Virginia. His name is Jaden, which I'm gonna try to get him on, just to help him out with his basketball career, get some college people to notice him. He's a good kid. He's a tall kid like me. He's kind of linky, but he's a good man.
Well, I mean, that's how. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you're a basketball player, that's how you gotta be, right? You gotta be tall, lanky.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, he's tall. He's a basketball player. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, trust me, I was like that. Yeah, when I was playing basketball, I was tall and lanky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is too. Like when you're young and you're tall, you kind of look kind of gangly. You know what I mean? Like
I remember that.
Back
in 8th grade, man, I was so tall.
Yeah, skinny neck with a big old head and shit. Like
yeah. I was like, man, what the heck?
Yeah,
so big all of a sudden.
You feel me? Like, I always been a shorty though. You know what I'm saying? I've been like 5'7". I remember I was 5'7" in junior high, so I was kind of tall for junior high, and then I just kind of stayed there. But I also had this theory, like I could have been taller, but I was smoking weed and cigarettes young and shit, like might have stunted my growth or something. I don't know. But it don't matter. I'm just glad I'm not like any of these 5'2" motherfuckers. And shit.
You gotta love yourself. You gotta stay true to yourself.
Yeah. I don't care. This is how God made me. This is how the universe created me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do hope my son is tall though. The doctor was telling me that my son, he's on pace to be like 6'2", and like in my family, like my dad's dad was like 6 foot. My uncles are 6 feet tall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's in my family. I'm just a short motherfucker. You know what I mean? Even my dad is taller than me.
The tall growth.
Yeah, my dad is like 5'8". I'm 5'7". So it's like, you know, even my dad was short compared to his brother and his dad and shit like that. You know what I mean? His uncles.
That's crazy. 6'2". 6'2". That's like exactly my height actually. 6'2".
I mean, I hope my son's at least like 5'11" or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like being smaller, like, especially if you want to play sports, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want to be at least like 6 feet tall. Unless you're like a running back, I guess that's where you could be small, but like short, but you still got to be yoked. You know what I mean?
You could be like Mosby.
Yeah, he was a little motherfucker.
He made it happen in the NBA.
Yeah. Or even Muggsy Bogues back in the days. That motherfucker was.
I'm trying to remember who else. Who's the other guy that's about to fight Logan Paul? I'm trying to remember right now.
Not Nate Robinson, is it? No, Nate Robinson's not small.
No, but he's spectacular. at his height.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's gonna be funny. It's gonna be a fight with that.
Yo, I hope Logan Paul gets his ass beat. I don't like that guy.
Like KSI.
He's the motherfucking. He's that YouTube guy, right?
Yeah, he's a YouTube guy. He was like a Viner, and then he turned to like YouTube more. And then all that fun stuff that he did in the woods and all that fun stuff.
It's so crazy because that's
I don't know what I'm talking about.
he's like a clout chasing motherfucker. Matter of fact, he's gonna fight Nate Robinson. Is it Nate Robinson?
Yeah, it's Nate Robinson. Yeah,
He's
you're
gonna
right.
fight Nate Robinson. I think they're gonna be the opening fight for Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
That's gonna be interesting. Mike Tyson coming back.
Yeah, man. I hope Mike Tyson beats his ass because I just don't want to see Mike come back and get rocked.
Yeah, that's the fear that everyone has. I think right now is like if he comes back in there and he gets rocked, and it's like, damn.
Cause I like Mike. I like his podcast. I grew up watching Mike. Like I was a kid and Mike Tyson was the baddest motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even though I don't watch boxing as much, but Mike Tyson, man,
Yeah, man. I mean,
punch.
it's kind of cool. Like
Even
for
by tears.
all the youngsters, man, they get to see Mike, and I just hope that they get to see a good version of Mike because he does look good right now. Like in his, you know what I mean, in all the footage I've seen.
Yeah, all the footage you see him boxing right now.
I hope he's. See, here's the thing: is like he's gonna need to like Roy Jones Jr. He just boxed like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been recent. Like for Mike Tyson, it's been a while.
Long time, 2005. I want to say. I don't know if I remember.
That's 15 years out of the boxing arena.
I'm not even sure. It might even be earlier than that. 'Cause I do remember like early 2000s him beating up a Russian dude.
But still, that's like a long time ago.
Yeah. Mike is a nut. I would kick it with Mike Tyson. That motherfucker does psychedelics and shit. And he smokes hella weed.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, all that weed can come down once the fight happens.
Well, here's the thing: is like I feel like weed actually you know because sativa specifically it makes both sides of the brain work simultaneously. So you're like sharper. You know what I mean? Like I swear, bro. Maybe I'm just saying that too because I smoke a lot of weed and I feel like I'm sharper when I'm on weed. But this you know what? We're going with my version. My version is better. Smoking weed is a sharp motherfucker. All these people that say smoke, like all the way they portrayed weed heads over the years, like being some slow dumbass stoners and shit. I think that shit is totally inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I can agree on.
Yeah. So you and Mike, this next show, you guys already got a concept for the show?
Yeah, I gotta have like a good set of mind what our show's gonna be like tomorrow when we start recording it, and then we release it on Sunday. I have a good idea. We're gonna talk about the NBA returning to basketball. What our predictions will be. I have a feeling that. Then we're gonna talk about some NFL news. Jamal Adams going to Seattle, especially.
Yep. I mean,
That's another great scenario. Who won that trade? That would be a good scenario to talk about. Hey, we know how Mike is on the scenarios.
Yeah, Mike is.
Either be surprising or.
Hey, does Mike does he be thinking of his shit or he's just on the spot?
He's on the spot, man. He's on the spot. He knows. He watches his news. It's not like he doesn't. So that's a good thing. But he comes up with the spot.
Cause sometimes it does seem like sometimes he be blurting some shit out, like kind of like how I be blurting shit out. But like when I'm actually thinking about crazy shit, and then so when I say it, I actually thought about this. But it does seem like Mike is always just on the spot, however he feels.
Yeah, he's usually. We usually communicate what we're gonna talk about on the episode, and really what's the main focus on the episode, what we're gonna talk about, what we're gonna cover, or the latest news, literally the latest news of what's happening in the sports world. You know, we come together with that.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited for what the Ethan and Mike sports show has to come in the future. You know what I mean? I hope our both of our brands and all of our brands. Shout out to the Slow Grind. Shout out to Doug Smith. Shout out to all the Rum Boys. Shout out to the Bears, Brews, and the Bros.
Shout out to the behind the scenes, Janae. Shout out to her. She runs a Twitter account. Shout out to her.
Yep, you know what I'm saying.
Behind the scenes,
I hope all of us grow, man, and we all get success, man. Whether it's Whether it happens fast or slow, I mean, when it happens, it happens. I just hope it all happens for us one day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The process, man. Like what Morris says, this is why he created the show, the slow grind.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
It's slow grind.
Well, yeah, man. Well, with that said, man, Ethan, let them know where they can find you and Mike and the podcast. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll go ahead and close this thing out.
All right, guys. One last time. You can find us on YouTube, all our major podcasts, and on Instagram. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Same thing, Ethan and Mike, or on the TikTok. The only difference is Ethan and Mike Sports Show. And that's how we're gonna conclude it, Bulgar.
Yeah, and Playmakers, you know what time it is. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube / the GMM Network. You know what I mean? Go ahead, make sure you head on over to monkeyknifefight.com. Use promo code GMM. We'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. Y'all, you definitely want to get in on this daily fantasy sports action, this prop action. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? Sports is back. Everybody be safe. Wear your fucking mask. Stay 6 feet away from the motherfuckers. And you know what I'm saying? It's all love. You know what I'm saying?
All love.
For sure, brother. Peace.